it's a good fan base. You go up to Wyoming and everything kind of slows down. And those are the dangerous games, especially when the team's 13-0.
Hall with a dunk. Well, the Aztecs are going to play at least 2 Mountain West Conference home games while the students are still out. They don't get back till the end of January.
That is tough. You don't realize that that does play into it. I mean, this is a great fan base, and you want to see them play in front of the fans.
Well, one of those games is UNLV, so you know there won't be a ticket to be found at all that day. Foul on the Roadrunners, Brandon Barnes. When we return, San Diego State will have an 18-point advantage.
It's Nissan season to save. Get in today for holiday bonus cash on popular models. Up to $2,000 on top of existing offers. Lease the all-new Altima, $199 per month plus bonus cash. Or lease the all-new Sentra, just $169 per month. Shop at ChooseNissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. Hurry! Up to $2,000 holiday bonus cash ends January 2nd.
Dream as one. Prepare as one. Work as one. Focus as one. Play as one.
Our statistics tell the story. Our rankings speak for themselves. But our actions speak louder than words. Now, all around the country, Mountain West basketball is being heard. With elite coaches, student athletes, and programs. And while some like to talk a big game, we prefer to play it now. The Mountain West, a legacy of excellence.
Show having a little fun here at Viejas Arena, and why not? Their team leads by 18. 19th ranked San Diego State has never trailed in the game. 7:35 to go in regulation. And as we inch ever so close to the start of Mountain West Conference play, we revisit the preseason poll as picked by the media type. San Diego State picked to win it over UNLV and New Mexico. Colorado State, always a tough team. Under Larry Eustachy, their new head coach there. And Nevada, and look at Wyoming, how far they were picked. Yeah. We're told you they're one of 4 teams in the country who are unbeaten.
Well, I think the Mountain West just typically it kind of gets passed on. I mean, like we said in the past, it's been a two-headed monster where you have San Diego State, UNLV, and at the time BYU. Just 3 teams that you know were good, but then Colorado State sneaking in here. And the sad thing is, Colorado State, in past recent history, has been a very good team, and they haven't gotten the credit. I mean, now you see the Mountain West finally getting credit for being such a strong conference.
One of the things we will monitor, because you know the athletic department here at San Diego State is doing that as well, is the transition to the Big East next year, and if that is officially going to go down.
You know, you really hope not. You really hope not. I love this conference, and especially after this season, to watch this conference grow and become a team that could take 4 or 5 teams to the tournament.
O'Brien on the other end after Barnes tried to throw down, and O'Brien has points. The lead is 21 at a fast pace now, and there's Carter in an N1 play.
You know, this is actually an important time for San Diego State. We talked about discipline. We talked about really taking this team seriously, and they seem to be letting up a bit. I mean, Carter's getting to the basket when he wants. He just seems to want it more than anybody else. And I think if you're the Aztecs right now, you've got to find your leaders, and you got to pull these guys together and say, hey, let's get this thing. Let's put this thing away. Let's get this thing under control, put it away. I mean, 10 minutes ago, they only Bakersfield only had 28 points. So they're certainly letting them go a little bit. You've got to take control of this game and put them away now.
Here's Carter to the free throw line. Looking for his completion of the 3-point play, and he gets it there to give him now 15 points, right at his season average.
Yeah, and Carter's really been the story in the second half, just getting to the basket. Scouting report was, hey, who's going to get to the basket? And he's doing it.
Coley, free throw line jumper, nothing there. Hall away with a rebound. Again, if you didn't hear the news, Boise State has decided this week to stay in the Mountain West Conference. Maybe changing things as Barnes misses. See, as the Aztec Athletic Department continues to monitor that situation. And the football schedule is already out with those Big East teams on it. If not, basketball will be headed to the Big West next year, and football to the Big East. Coming up on 6 to go in the basketball game. The Aztecs are going to get to 12-2, matching the second best start in school history. The best a couple years ago, the 34-3 team going 20-0.
12-2, and like I said, as we said off the tap, you look at the two losses. You know, one on an aircraft carrier to a very good Syracuse team, and the other one to the number 3 team in the nation, and really it came down to the wire. A block shot with 3 seconds left. It looked like they were going to win that game, and a great defensive play. So those are 2 good losses, in my opinion. 2 good losses, if those really exist. If I could throw any more cliches out, I will.
Well, we talked about our early season report cards in the open.
Yeah.
You said solid B+, I said B+. I like to grade on a curve.
If that's any different, I just can't fully agree with you, right?
That's right. There'll be a chance to for extra credit to get that up to a solid A over the course of 16 Mountain West Conference games this year.
I think it's not just that, though. It's how they play a team like Bakersfield, how they approach the game, how they finish the game. Because I'm going to learn a lot about this team in the next 5.5 minutes. Can they close strong? Can they get to 75 points, and can they keep these guys below 50? That would be a statement.
Here's Carter as the pace is picked up. Hall now has it. Drives to Carter. He'll step up for an open jumper and hit. He now has 17. And a foul against Winston Shepard, throwing an elbow into Javante Maynard, the second on Shepard. Roadrunners are going to get to inbound to the left of their basket.
You got to wonder, if Thames going down has been an issue. I mean, just controlling the tempo, controlling the pace, and keeping the ball out of Chase Tapper's hand, allowing him to just get easy looks at the basket.
There was the shove and the foul by Shepard.
Good little acting job.
Hey, a bucket here. They can get within 13, and Carter turned it over. Trying to drive, got a little too fast, and threw it out of bounds. Here's Franklin driving in, and Franklin forcing it and drawing the foul. Jamal's going to get a chance at free throws 8 and 9 right here.
It is a good take to the basket, but at the same time, I think if you're Steve Fisher, once you break that pressure, you want to use some clock. You want to use some clock and get yourself a good look at the basket. Work the ball around. Right now, Bakersfield's doing what they want to do. They're forcing the tempo, and they're getting good looks at the basket. I think you got to slow it down once you break that pressure.
And it looks as if Adam Young has just fouled out of the basketball game, so Young is the first to be disqualified for the Roadrunners.
You know, earlier in the night, we talked about San Diego State protecting the basket, protecting the paint. And I mentioned how well Butler does. I mean, Butler's so good at protecting the paint because they don't have the athletes to block shots. And sometimes I think San Diego State relies heavily upon the guys behind them to block shots and contest shots, that they play a little too aggressive out top and let guys get to the basket. Well, right now, Carter's dominating the game. And I think you have to keep guys in front, especially when the scouting report says, hey, Carter will not shoot, he will go to the basket. You've got to stick to that.
And again, the concern of Steve Fisher after the Arizona game was too many blow-bys.
And we're seeing that right now.
And when teams convert them, you know, Arizona didn't make all of them, as Steve Fisher pointed out, but when teams start making them, then you got a problem. Here's Carter. He'll try it again. Spencer with a rebound. The Aztecs have won 81 straight games when leading within 5 minutes to play. They've got a healthy advantage here as Shepard went up and got fouled from behind by Tyrone White.
Once again, I understand the lane to the basket, but clearly, as the Aztecs finish this game out, you have to be able to execute on the offensive end down the stretch. And that just doesn't mean go to the basket and make layups. That means actually take some time up. because when you get into conference play, you're going to have to use every bit of the clock. You're going to have to really wear teams down by executing on the offensive, especially if you're not going to make the free throws.
Again, we have not seen Xavier Thames here in the second half of the ball game, left with a lower back strain. So he's sitting to the bench to the right of us. Shepard missed them both. Now this is a San Diego State team shooting 71% at the free throw line tonight. 75% in their last 8 games. They were pretty atrocious from the free throw line to start the season, but seem to have worked that problem out right at the right time as conference play starts a week from tonight. Carter with another blow-by for a lay-in.
I feel like it's a broken record right now. Just Carter getting to the basket. Just a second ago, we showed Chase Tapley on the bench. Seems like his night is over. I think at this point, I'd get him back in the game.
Yeah, well, Thames and Tapley certainly would be on Carter. Numbers back the other way. Here's Barnes. Threw it up wildly. Shepard has it. Shepard driving in and draws the foul against Javonte Maynard.
Got to say, we were talking lightly about the grading, our grading system, and I said how they close this game out will be a deciding factor of what I think about this team. And right now, they're not closing the game out very well. They're not being disciplined on defense. They're not sticking to their game plan in terms of keeping the certain guys in front of them. They're letting guys get by. You see Chase Tapley on the bench. I mean, your leaders on the bench, I'm not sure what the issue is, but you're not getting the offensive production. And Chase Tapley was also the guy covering Maynard who really took him out of the game.
A lot of fans have checked out early here at Viejas Arena after the Aztecs got up by 22 points. And maybe mentally, the players have as well.
Yeah, you still have that little holiday hangover. January 2nd, second day of 2013 here.
And Steve Fisher, he gave his team 4 days off after the Diamond Head Classic and said, quite frankly, before the ball game that he didn't think his guys practiced particularly well in the 3 days since they've been back.
Yeah, you make a good point there. And as a player, once you get those 4 days off, you want to come back and play strong so you can get them again.
Aztecs in command. They lead by 17.
Get into the holiday spirit with NBA League Pass and don't miss a minute of live NBA action. For a limited time holiday offer, unwrap the gift of NBA League Pass and get the games on TV, online, and mobile. That's right, you can get the games on all platforms. Spend the holidays watching live action from wherever you are. Get NBA League Pass now and get $30 off the regular season price. To order, call 1-855-NBA-LPLP. Contact your provider or go to NBA.com/LeaguePass.
Every moment is a chance to unite. Every moment is a chance to defy. Every moment is a chance to succeed.
In our city, the love we have for our teams goes beyond the game, and only one show will take you there every night.
We will have cameras and microphones where they rarely go.
With exclusive interviews.
It's tough to match myself in any other uniform but the purple and gold.
Asking the questions you need to know.
You still didn't tell me when you're going to be on the court.
Join the team that knows your team best. Access Sportsnet, tonight at 10 on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet.
Well, the Aztecs are up 24 6 minutes ago, but that lead cut into by the tremendous penetration by senior guard Stephon Carter of the Bakersfield Roadrunners.
When you talk about the penetration, I mean, that was the scouting report. The scouting report is he's not going to shoot the ball that well. As I say that, he knocks down a jumper. But really, it was him going to the basket. You know he's going to attack, and that's what's got him back in this game. You've got to get control of the guy who's attacking the basket, and you've got to do a better job closing this game out on the offensive end if you're the San Diego State Aztecs.
Carter found only 5 shots in that first half. He's found 11 in the second half, 7 of 11 from the floor.
And of those 5, some of them were jump shots, and clearly he's not a jump shooter.
You can see approaching Kenny Warren's mark as the all-time leading scorer at Bakersfield. Warren was there when they were winning back-to-back national championships in '93 and '94. They also won one at the Division II level 97, 9 Division II Final Fours.
Is there an asterisk next to that for being Division I, Division II? Like, is this more impressive because he's doing it at the Division I level? I mean,
I don't know why that was there. We did see one right there, right?
yeah, I think so.
It hasn't been totally at the Division I level for Carter either. This is only their 3rd year as a full-fledged Division I program. But Rod Barnes has them playing some pretty good basketball. They were 16 and 15 last year. Got invited to the College Insiders Tournament where they lost to Utah State. Actually had to fight the NCAA because their APR was low. Didn't want to let them go to the postseason. They won, and then Utah State hammered them in the postseason. Barnes with a baseline drive. Nothing there. 3 to go. It's actually a Bakersfield team that has won 785 career games and only 414 losses.
It's impressive.
Very impressive at any level.
It's impressive that you found that stat, too.
Well, it's all over their media, guys. What they hang their hat on. Very
No, that is
distinguished
impressive.
pass.
Seriously, that is very impressive.
And 7-1 last year against Big West teams. Again, they'll be in the WAC next year.
Which has got to help recruiting, too. You think about recruiting in a conference like that, much more exposure. We talk about the environment, we talk about coaching, but really it's the exposure to these players which really helps recruiting.
Yeah, the WAC is going to get a big makeover next year as Poli goes in and gets fouled. Grand Canyon University, a for-profit college, is actually coming in to play at the Division I level for the first time ever. Utah Valley State will be in there.
Wait, you're telling me colleges are not for profit?
Oh,
That's news to me.
this one has the official label. Poli missed the first with 2:13 to go. Next time you see the Aztecs a week from tonight, 8:30 start at Fresno State against the Bulldogs, the newest members of the Mountain West Conference.
You got to think that's going to be a game they'll be up for a little bit more, getting into conference play. And not, as we said, very strong conference. You got to start conference playoff in a good note. And clearly Fresno State not the strongest team in the Mountain West Conference either.
That has to be a tough place to play, though, anywhere on the road in the Mountain West Conference. O'Brien fighting there for the rebound against Barnes. Looks like it was last touched by San Diego State. Bakersfield tonight, 2 of 17 shooting threes.
Well, we go back to our keys. I mean, it was limit open threes, limit open looks, and that's what they've done. And you look at, that's why they've scored 50 points. They're not getting the threes that they usually get. Just love it when we have our keys and they actually
work out.
My gosh, these analysts know what they're talking about.
Shepard with an Olin pass to Spencer out to Rayhan. Another miss, but there's Poli trying to go for the jam, but he got fouled. Again, Poli was questionable after banging his head in practice on Sunday night when they finally returned after the 4-day break. Suffered some headaches. They feared a broken or ruptured eardrum. That was not the case, and here he is playing a few days later.
Especially today with concussion testing, they're so strict with everything. I mean, it was a lot different when I was there. I mean, but today, I mean, certainly they really test heavily to make sure these guys are healthy to play.
Here's what lies ahead for San Diego State at Fresno State. John and I will be there to call that. 8:30 start next Wednesday, and then back-to-back home games against 2 very tough teams, Colorado State and UNLV, before heading out to Wyoming and Nevada. That was Brian Dutcher you saw there, the head coach in waiting, take over for Steve Fisher. They got a chance this week with the break to take a look at that duo they signed from Sacramento Sheldon coming down to the Torrey Pines tournament. De'Arrol Williams and Dakari Allen, those 2 guys getting their team a victory at a very impressive tournament. Beat San Agustin out of San Diego in the championship game of the National Division. That tournament's produced something like 20, 25 NBA guys that have played in it.
Impressive.
White in and out, falls back down.
You look at Coach Dutcher and the title. Give me the title. The head coach in waiting. That's a great title to have, because really you're sitting there like, you know what? If we're terrible, I think I still got the job, right? I mean, that's a good one. The head coach, they can take all the blame. He's just waiting. He says, hey, whatever. I'm the head coach in waiting.
Been a very loyal assistant all the way back to the Michigan days. So really happy to see him get his chance. Not sure whether it's going to be in 3 years or 5 or 10.
Well, also as a scout for the Sacramento Kings, I mean, he's a guy with NBA, I'll call it an NBA understanding, and players love that. I mean, clearly players love to be around a guy who's got NBA knowledge and NBA connections, because that's really what they want. I mean, these guys want to come into school, get an education, put up some numbers, win some games, and set themselves up for a career at the next level.
And, of course, his dad, a longtime coach at the University of Minnesota, coaching in the Big Ten, the Golden Gophers. He's been around basketball since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, as they say.
That's old school.
Well, the Aztecs getting to 70. Not sure if they're going to get to your desired 75.
Maybe a couple fouls down the stretch, but
White had it disrupted by Narbe Ibrahimian and a foul. Narbe getting a chance to come in.
Narbe's going to help me get it to 75.
The Jason Biggs lookalike from American Pie.
Jason Biggs. That's when you know the night is getting late. Jason Biggs lookalike.
San Diego State's going to have this basketball.
They're going to play that in the tape room. The poor guy's going to have to hear that. The one time they're going to turn the sound up.
And he passed on Nadia. I mean, man.
He's going to hit a 3 for me here in a second.
Inside of a minute to go, the Aztecs are going to get to 12-2. The non-conference schedule will be over. Shepard drives in and will get it to fall. Nice little touch there by Winston Shepard. He has 11.
Going to get all his baskets coming on attacking the rim, and clearly as a guy who can drive and kick and create for others, he's going to be a weapon.
Carter hits another. That'll go for 2. He has 21. And Ibrahimian gets fouled. 21 seconds to go. 72-55 San Diego State. Now they can finally put away that 1-point loss to Arizona and Hawaii.
A good loss.
Very good. I'd agree. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, came away thinking they'll be able to play with anyone in the country come March. And if they get a great matchup too, you know, I think last year in the NCAA tournament when they got NC State that has, you know, these NBA prospects and the length. They've always struggled against length. They did last year against Baylor on the road.
Well, it's funny when it comes down to the NCAA tournament. That's really what it's all about. It's about the matchups. How do teams match up against each other? And that's, I mean, really, it's anybody's game with a close matchup.
Final 10 seconds of this one. Jones. And that's Craig Jones, a kid from the Army-Navy Academy here in the San Diego County area, Carlsbad, playing in just his 5th game. And the Aztecs will hold it, and they will come away with a 72-57 victory over CSU Bakersfield, running their streak to 31 consecutive against California opponents. So San Diego State wins it. Coming up next will be the Mountain West Conference opener against Fresno State.